Ladies and gentlemen, this is just my viewpoint, my personal viewpoint, based on public record information. It makes no sense at all. Independent insiders say Trump is panicking as Kushner and Melania pointed to as possible moles in FBI raid. That is not possible. It's not Kushner and Melania, and it wasn't Bill Clinton who told James Comey of Hillary's private server. So that's nonsense. Now, there's another Business Insider article. Former Trump Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, FBI informant, could be one of 6 to 8 people in Trump's inner circle. It could be, but it's likely one of their staffers. So, it could, everybody within Trump's inner circle has a whole bunch of people circling around them. Just like you had one staffer in the congressional hearing with Kinzinger and Cheney, stating that, in the most horrific manner, Trump threw his dinner at the wall. Okay, so that was a Meadows staffer. So it could be somebody, but it's almost certainly. Here, CNN, Wall Street Journal, informant tipped off investigators about more documents at Mar-a-Lago. It's somebody with ties to the Clintons, or who had been approached by somebody working for or loyal to the Clintons. Almost certainly, if you look at the Steele dossier subsource being, he's on trial in October. Okay, working with a Clinton public relations executive. Okay, he was actually working with a Clinton public relations executive while he was giving Christopher Steele information on Trump's ties to the Kremlin, which were completely false. Then the DNC and Hillary purchased the dossier that their public relations executive helped create. Okay? Then you have officials within the Federal Bureau of Investigation, one of which signed off on the dossier, knowing that it was riddled with nonsense and tied to the Clintons. Then you had, you had McCabe, who was given money by Terry McAuliffe, and he didn't recuse himself. You had Peter Strzok saying, we'll stop Trump. But you have Sussman paid by Hillary to go and funnel false Alpha Bank server allegations. So at the same time they were stating that he was installed by another country, they were also falsely stating that he was communicating with that other country via servers. Okay, do you see a pattern here? Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. We are on our way to 200,000 subs, and every segment gets 10 to 20 to 30,000 views, and I thank you very much. And I think I give a unique vantage point because I at one point thought that the Bureau was apolitical and nonpartisan, and I thought Clinton almost certainly would get indicted because, well, she committed crimes with top secret intelligence on private servers. Servers. Like, you would have to transfer, as Secretary of State, you'd have to transfer classified data onto those servers. Nobody knows how she did that, or her team did that. With Trump, it's like boxes of a former president who could declassify anything, and whose energy secretary almost certainly declassified all the nuclear documents that he was looking at. And they weren't launch codes, okay? So it's like, they always have to, make some kind of new scandal for Trump. He didn't do anything wrong with his taxes. He wasn't installed by a hostile foreign country. He didn't try to overthrow democracy and the government. There's always overreach with the apoplectic and almost always hysterical, wonderful, morally superior, highly educated Democrats. They're obsessed with trying to indict him on something because they've committed so many. Their criminality is rampant with Hunter and Hillary, so they need something to get Trump on. Now, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I know you might think that's nuts. But Hillary Clinton would be a much better president than mashed potato brains Joe. And that being said, I would vote for Trump 1,000,000 times in that matchup. And I believe Donald Trump would defeat Clinton again. So that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also looking forward to it because Democrats need to see that. The country needs to see Hillary again as nominee and running again. And look, if you're a Clinton fan, she could be president. I mean, anything's possible. And so Hillary Clinton needs to be the nominee for a number of reasons. This Mar-a-Lago issue is a big reason. There's no way that this informant isn't tied or isn't somehow connected to the Clintons. This has the hallmark of a Clintonian operation. I mean, you could just look, Wall Street Journal, Informant tipped off investigators about more documents in Mar-a-Lago. That's nonsense. They were working with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They were working with the Justice Department. This wasn't secret servers, but that's what the Clintons do. That's what Democrats do. What they do is they say, well, Trump is worse. And then they can shield themselves from the repercussions of Mashed Potato Joe actually getting accused of committing the criminal act that Trump was talking about on a hot mic. See, Trump didn't commit that. Nobody accused Trump of actually doing that. But Joe was accused of that. Then the morally superior liberal, the brain works on a calculus. More people accuse Trump. And so it's this Clintonian relative world, this moral relativity where if more people accuse Trump, Democrats are better. And so, Biden is pumping strategic petroleum reserves into the country right now. Not necessarily. I don't think AOC wrote that into the Green New Deal. But the response, at least they're better on that issue. And so Biden got sued by oil and gas associations and 14 states, then reversed his policy, then was sued by environmental groups after flooding the country, and he continues to do so with strategic petroleum reserves, which are meant for only a calamity or catastrophe or serious national security issue, not failed climate change policies that he has to reverse because they caused inflation. And then when inflation goes down from 9.1% to 8.5%, they're like, oh yes, this is amazing. Look how wonderful we are. It's like, what? So we're in a recession. Nobody even wants mashed potato brains to even run again. The Democratic Party is in complete shambles. They're falling apart at the seams, or crumbling from the weight of their own corruption. Hunter is it's just a matter of time before another video comes out with him weighing illegal narcotics. He's brandishing firearms without any clothes on, and then they're pontificating about legislation. And there's clear violations of the law, according to the Daily Mail and the New York Post, who broke the story. Those journalists deserve Pulitzer Prizes. They're not going to get any because that's a Pulitzer. All these organizations are run by liberal, wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats who try to utilize the prestige of any organization, government organization, journalism award, whatever, against their direct political rivals. And so that's the issue here. That's the issue. Twitter suppressed and silenced and suspended the New York Post because of current and former U.S. officials stated that it was a plot by another country yet again to inform you of how corrupt Democrats are. Anytime you hear about corruption within the Democratic Party, it's a plot from another country. But this is a Clintonian deal, and I still want Hillary to be nominee. God bless her. She should run again. What's the problem? You can't defeat mashed potato brains. It's not difficult within the Democratic Party. Okay? And this isn't 2 years ago. This is 2 years after. We know now that he was a complete mistake The whole thing was a mistake. If you voted for the recession, congrats. You know, if the tables were turned and it was Trump that had the recession and the invasion in Europe and the imminent blockade or invasion with China and Taiwan, the morally superior, wonderful, highly educated liberal on Twitter would be like, "Ooh, your real wages are down 4.4%. Enjoy, Trumpers. Enjoy the recession, Trumpers. Oh, you're upset because of layoffs, Trumpers? Well, you voted for the Orange Menace, and now we have recession." And it's all your fault. Enjoy it. Enjoy enjoy the poverty which is increased. Because, I mean, if the tables were reversed and, like, Trump presided over Biden's economy and enjoy the crime. Enjoy. That's what, they're so vicious and malicious. And so that's the way they operate. If the tables were reversed. But with Biden, he can do no wrong. ICBMs flying above, recession, real wages down, crime up, poverty at 15% or so. It's all good as long as Trump isn't tweeting. They don't work that way. But they are petulant if Trump were to have Biden's economic record. They would be petulant, my God. Anyway, this is my viewpoint, and it's just my view based on the fact that every single thing that happened to Trump is linked to Clinton in some way. Either somebody who was compromised by Democrats, linked to Clinton, or actually paid, like Sussman or like Danchenko, through money. Like Clinton paid FEC fines. They, broke FEC laws just to purchase the Steele dossier and pay Sussman and all those things. So, somehow, someway, this informant was either approached by somebody who was paid by Clinton or works with the Clintons or the Democratic Party, and I can't prove this is my gut feeling, okay, or somehow the Democratic Party, like with Sussman, like with Danchenko, like with Christopher Steele, like with all the loyalists in the DOJ and the Bureau, somehow there's a link. Give me your thoughts below. And this is based solely upon everything we've learned in the public record, from the Wall Street Journal to the New York Times to what I just read right now. And if there's a morally superior liberal Democrat saying, "Oh, what a conspiratorial theory," go look at the trial in October, or the Sussman trial. The Sussman trial, Sussman didn't need to be convicted because he actually texted the lie. Okay? The conviction did not happen because nobody believed that James Baker of the Bureau, now focus Democrats who say, he didn't get a conviction, no more Durham probe. Focus. He didn't get the conviction because the jury did not believe that Baker was actually duped, because they thought that everyone at the Bureau wanted to go after Trump anyway. Get it? The whole system was against Trump, so then how could Sussman have deceived, even though Sussman did lie about it? I'm not coming on behalf of a client. He's getting paid by the client. So he did lie. The jury didn't believe, though, that the jury wasn't able to see the text message, which was like, and now Durham is actually going to be the lead prosecutor, so that's going to be good. And James Baker, Comey's top legal counsel, knew that he was getting information obtained by the Clintons. So, again, here's the thing. The intelligentsia in our country, Bill Maher and all the people, ladies at The View, and it's like they don't know what the Steele dossier is. They don't care. They could never imagine a world where Giuliani would purchase a dossier and a Trump loyalist at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, a director, would investigate based on a dossier Giuliani purchased against mashed potato brains Joe that said he was trying to get out of a Moscow hotel room. Forget about anything happening. He's just trying to get out. He doesn't know how to get out. So they couldn't imagine a world. But see, if you know anything about what's taken place the past 6 years, they would never allow what took place against Trump to take place against them. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I'll be back in a couple of hours.